fall in Columbus 3-2. Their A game still isn't there. We have key takeaways plus a look ahead to this busy weekend with games in Arizona and Vegas. All that and more coming up on today's Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on the Locked On Islanders podcast. We are so glad to be with you as we talk Islanders hockey for the weekend edition of the show. Tough game for the Islanders Thursday night in Columbus. They fall in overtime 3-2, and this team still hasn't brought their A game. They look off, and we'll break down what's going wrong for this Islanders team and look ahead to a busy slate of games this weekend. They'll be in Arizona Saturday, in Vegas on Sunday, and they've got to start picking up some points. We'll preview both of those games, and for our Islanders' birthday of the day, a very special person who has probably held more positions in the Islanders organization than anyone I could think of off the top of my head, so make sure you join us for that. Want to thank everybody for making Locked On Islanders their first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So a 3-2 overtime loss in Columbus, and it wasn't really a solid overall performance by the Islanders. Yes, Ilya Sorokin he made 29 saves in this one. And Matthew Barzal had one of her games, a goal and 9 shots on goal. But I'll tell you right now, this team is not clicking on all cylinders, and there's a couple of problems that I wanted to address after watching not just last night's game, but really the first games of the season. First of all, and Barry Trotz raised this after the game last night, the B&B line of Brock Nelson, Anthony Beauvillier, and Josh Bailey is not playing good hockey as of right now. I mentioned on the show earlier this week how badly they played the last couple of games, especially Tuesday night. But realistically, this team needs to be better, and this line needs to be better. And Trotz sort of hinted that he may make some changes before this weekend's game when dealing with that line. And for the Islanders, the B&B line traditionally has been their line with the best chemistry, the line that works best together, but they just don't seem to have it. And I'm not sure why they seem a little bit off early in this season, but it is something this team is going to have to address. And I don't think they necessarily have to split the line up, but long-term, but maybe short-term to shake things up a little bit. It's time to make some moves and see if we can change the chemistry here. Maybe you move Zach Parise or Oliver Wahlstrom up to that second line and maybe move Anthony Beauvillier or Josh Bailey down a line to just try to get something going, because that B&B line just not clicking. But the longer-term issue that I'm seeing through these first 4 games that has me a lot more concerned, lack of speed on defense. And you look at the top 6 defensemen. Andy Green, not very fast. Zdeno Chara, at this stage in his career, not very fast. Scotty Mayfield, good, physical, big defenseman, but not very fast. And even Adam Pelech and Ryan Pulock, while they are decent as far as speed goes, not known for their excellent skating ability, their ability to move the puck, skate it out of the zone, and create opportunities with the puck by carrying it. The player they really seem to be missing as of right now is Nick Leddy. And the only player on this roster out of the top six that they've been dressing every day who can even come close to the style of play and the things that Nick Leddy did for this team last year. And remember, Leddy led the Islanders in assists last season. That's Noah Dobson. And I get the feeling after watching the first four games and after watching last year, the Islanders don't quite trust Noah Dobson to be that guy just yet. So it's something to keep an eye on, that this team, which is a defense-first team, which thrives on preventing the opposition from scoring and making that transition, they may have an issue with a lack of speed on defense. Now, I'm not ready to give up on this top six yet, but, do we need to see a Sebastian Aho play a game? Do we need to see somebody come in and step up and play that different role? Maybe you sit Andy Green a game or Zdeno Chara a game and give a more mobile defenseman a chance, because you need that additional chemistry. Last year, you had Leddy in your second pair and then Dobson in your third pair. That gave you two options of players who could skate the puck well, have a little speed on defense. Right now, it isn't there. And it's a concern for me that this team needs to get that defensive situation straightened out. The other takeaway that I have after watching the first four games in particular is the power play. A huge Morgan did have some more look in, a little bit more zone time. Still not wrong with the Islanders get the power play. Can we decline the penalty? Or, after move the puck better at times, Lamb not clicking, still not being all that productive on the power play, and that's going to have to change. A little note, wanted to mention Cole Sillinger scoring in the second period for the Blue Jackets. He's 18 years old. His first NHL goal. Of course, his father, Mike Sillinger, played for the Islanders about 10 years ago. He also played 9 other NHL teams during his career. But, nice moment for Cole Sillinger. Just wish against the New York Islanders. But overall, he really is probably in this game. And again, two opportunities came from the high danger areas, in between, from the face-off circles, at about 9, 10, 11 shots. High danger and some defensive zone for the Islanders. The last thing I expect this Islanders team. So they got a lot of things to work on. And, this long 13-game road trip continue this weekend. Islanders are in last place. That isn't looking all that likely. Head to the 2 games this weekend. We'll give you an idea of what to look for and what to keep. A very special Islanders birthday of the day. All that and more still on the On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. You know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors. There really is something for everyone. And when you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're definitely passionate about their favorites. And it's easy to tell why. Listen to these permanent flavors: mint brownie, double chocolate, strawberry, coconut, German chocolate, cookies and cream, my personal favorite, salted caramel, the sweet and salty. Both of them in one bar really hits the spot for me. And if you haven't tried all the flavors, you can get a mixed box where you'll get 2 of each of the 9 flavors, so you can decide which ones you like the best. And not only are Built Bar flavors the best tasting, but they're healthy too. Check out these macros. Each bar has between 17 and 18 grams of protein, only 130 to 180 calories, just 4 or 5 grams of sugar per bar, and only 4 or 5 grams of net carbs. Amazing flavors, all tasty, all healthy, and Built Bar is the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team. Go to Built.com right now, use the promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. Thanks for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So a busy weekend ahead for the New York Islanders. First, they will be taking on the Arizona Coyotes on Saturday, and that will be a nice opportunity in theory for the Islanders to have that game, as expectations for the Coyotes not all that high this year, although they're not playing terrible hockey just yet. But, you know, when I go over these line combinations, I think you'll understand why. You're not going to be familiar with too many of these names. The top line right now, Nick Schmaltz with Lawson, Krause, and Clayton Keller on the wings. Johan Larsson centering the second line with Andrew Ladd. There's a familiar name to Islanders fans. And Ryan Dzingel. Then Lou Erickson, Travis Boyd, and Phil Kessel of the third line, and a couple of veterans there. And then Jay Beagle centers that fourth line with Christian Fischer and Dmitry Jaskin. Defensively, Anton Strawman and Jakob Chychrun are the top pairing. Shane Gostisbehere and Victor Soderstrom, the second pairing. Connor Timmins and Ilya Lyubushkin are the third pairing. So not a lot of familiar names to Islander fans, and obviously the Islanders did not play against Arizona. Landon Carroll, Vemelka is the starting goal. Carter Hutton also there. We're not sure which one of them will play on Saturday, but look, you know what? Regardless of who they put out there, this is up to the Islanders. They need to play better hockey in order to beat any NHL team, even a team that is not expected to be a contender, a young, rebuilding, some would even say tanking team like the Arizona Coyotes. And look, it's not easy to win on the road. That is not you want to basically go 750 at home and then 500 on the road, and the Islanders right now not even doing that. But after that, you have a back-to-back game, and with the back-to-back, you then go to Vegas to play the Golden Knights. That's a lot tougher assignment, and hopefully the Islanders will have Semyon Varlamov back for one of those games. Otherwise, I assume we would see Corey Schneider. Now, just to back up a little bit, J.G. Pajot not active last night against Columbus. He, just like Anders Lee on Tuesday, they said he had a non-COVID related illness. Now, Lee later revealed that was a stomach bug. Usually those are 20 24 to 48 hours, but we will let you know if Pajot is ready to go for either or both of the games this weekend. You look at Vegas, William Karlsson centering Jonathan Meshersalt and Riley Smith, a very talented top line. Chandler Stevenson with Evgeny Dodonov and Nicholas Roy on the second line. Nolan Patrick centering the third line with Peyton Krebs and Keegan Gillisar on his wings. And Brett Howe, fourth line center, with Will Carrier and Jake Lecision on either side of him. On the fourth line, Alec Martinez and Alex Pietrangelo are the top pairing on defense. Braden McNabb, Shea Theodore, the second pairing. Nicolai and Zach Whitecloud are the third. And now in goal, you have either Robin Lehner, someone who Islander fans are obviously very familiar with and who I'm sure would love to get the opportunity to face the Islanders, backed up by Laurent Brossoit. And some injuries. Max Pacioretty has been out of the lineup. Mark Stone listed as day-to-day. Matthias Janmark, day-to-day. Alex Tuck, out so far for Vegas, and we'll keep you up to date if any of them are scheduled to return to the lineup. But, you know, again, Vegas, a very talented team, a very skilled team, and a very physical team. So the Islanders will need to play some very good hockey if they hope to get a point or 2 points even against the Vegas Golden Knights on Sunday. It's not going to be easy, especially coming off a back-to-back. So the challenge is there. And, you know, the Islanders really do need to step up their game if they hope to get it done. And I'll tell you, it's been discouraging to watch this team flounder the way they have. And you know, it just doesn't seem like they're getting the job done. The only people who were pluses in this game, in the plus-minus, Matt Martin and Cal Clutterbuck, they were each a +1. And the Islanders also, only Casey Cizikas getting the job done in the face-off circle. You know, Brock Nelson only won 7 out of 17. Anders Lee, 3 out of 5. You know, Matthew Barzal, 3 out of 7. The Islanders not getting the job done in the face-off circle, and that is unusual. And again, you know, defensively, they need to be better. Now, Scott Mayfield and Noah Dobson also +1 among the defensemen, but all the other defensemen, Pelech even, Pulak, and Zdeno Chara -1, and Green also a +1. And the defense not really getting as involved offensively as they usually do, although Mayfield did have that very pretty goal that he made when he decided to pinch, took advantage of a toe, and was able to score. That was a pretty goal. You know, when the Islanders take a 2-1 lead in a game, you don't expect them to fall to lose that lead, and that's exactly what they did against the Blue Jackets. It's just not Islanders hockey. And look, it's 4 games. There's 82 games in the season. You got 78 games left on the schedule, but they got to do better if they hope to live up to very high expectations this season. We've got our Islanders' birthday and a lot more. Stay on. Today's is brought to you by your friends at BetOnline. We're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all the basketball, football action this year. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website and sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. You'll get free money to bet on the site when you make that first deposit. From basketball, football, baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day, and I love this one. Great person, great player for the Islanders. Friday, happy 72nd birthday to former Islanders center, coach, scout, broadcaster. I think he's done everything except sell programs at the arena. I am, of course, talking about Butch Goring. Now, Goring originally drafted back in 1969 in the 5th round of the NHL amateur draft by the LA Kings, started in Springfield in the AHL that year, and then joined the Kings for 59 games in 1969. The Kings through the trade deadline in 1970, and then in what probably was the best trade in Islanders franchise history, the Islanders sent Dave Lewis and Billy Harris to LA for Butch Goring, and he became probably one of the best, if not the best, trade deadline deal in NHL history. He went on a tear in 1980 after the trade deadline, 6 goals and 11 points in the last 12 games of the season, followed that up with 19 points in 21 games as the Islanders won their first ever Stanley Cup. And of course, the Islanders won 4 straight cups and went to 5 straight Stanley Cup Finals. During Goring's tenure with the team, he was an integral part of the team's success. 2 20-plus goal seasons. His best year, 80-81, 23 goals and 60 points. And then he goes on to coach the team. He was a player coach and then coached in the AHL with the Islanders as well, was also coach of the Ones. And don't forget, in addition to all of that, in 1981, Goring winning the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP when the Islanders won their 2nd straight cup. And now a beloved broadcaster for the Islanders. And Butch Goring, if you ever get to meet him, one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to talk to. We're going to look at one of the magic moments from that 1981 playoff run by Butch Goring. We're going to look at Game 3 of the 1981 Stanley Cup Finals at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. Islanders facing the Minnesota North Stars. Islanders come into this game with a 2-0 series lead as they tried to get their 2nd straight Stanley Cup. And it was the North Stars getting on the board first with Bobby Nystrom in the box for interference. Steve Kristoff, his 7th in the playoffs from Craig Hartsburg and Dino Ciccarelli. 1-0 Minnesota, just 3:25 into the game. Steve Payne adds to the Minnesota lead at the 14:09 mark of the first period. His 15th in the postseason. Tim Young and Al McAdam with the helpers at 14:09. And the Islanders are down 2-0. But just 48 seconds later, Mike Bossy gets the Isles on the board. His 16th from Clark Gillies, 2-1. But the Islanders take another foolish penalty. Nystrom off for interference. Bobby Smith, his 7th of the playoffs. Craig Hartsburg and Steve Payne with the assist. After one period, Islanders are down 3-1. Bob Nystrom took 2 penalties that resulted in goals, so of course he had to make up for it. Nystrom scoring early in the 2nd period, his 6th from Tonelli and Wayne Merrick at 4:10. It's a 3-2 game. And then our Islanders' birthday of the day, Butch Goring going to work with Greg Smith in the box for interference and Bobby Smith in the box for tripping. Goring with a power play goal, his 6th. Dennis Potvin and Mike Bossy with the assist at 7:16. And all of a sudden, it is now a 3-3 game. Islanders keep the comeback going. Goring scores again later in the 2nd period, his 7th from Clark Gillies. After 2 periods, Islanders 4 and the North Stars 3. Steve Payne gets his 2nd of the game early in the 3rd to tie it. Tim Young and Steve Kristoff with the assist at 1:11. And it's 4-4, but the Islanders respond in less than a minute. 55 seconds later, Mike Bossy, his 17th from Brian Trotz. And then at 6:34 of the 3rd, Butch Goring completes the hat trick, his 8th of the playoffs. Billy Carroll and Dennis Potvin with the assists. And all of a sudden, the Islanders lead by a score of 6-4. Dino Ciccarelli makes it 6-5 with 6:25 left in regulation time. His 14th from Bobby Smith. But the Islanders put it away on an empty net goal by Brian Trotz. Mike Bossy and Wayne Merrick with the assists at 19-16. Islanders win it 7-5, and they take a 3-0 lead in the series. For Butch Goring, 3 goals, a playoff hat trick for Butch. He was a +2. He had 6 shots on goal to pace the Islanders. Mike Bossy, 2 goals and 2 assists in this one as well. Billy Smith, 23 saves to earn the win, while Gil Martin gave up 6 goals in just 28 shots by the New York Islanders. So happy birthday to Goring, the Islanders' former player, assistant coach minor leagues, and now broadcaster on MS Plus for the television broadcast. Butch has done it all for this organization, and we wish him all the best on his 72nd birthday. We have got a great Monday. We will have all the key takeaways on Monday from both games over the weekend. And, of course, we'll have our Islanders' birthday of the day and the latest updates on Semyon Varlamov's status, JG Pageau's status, and a whole lot more. So thanks for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Now make sure you make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Host Scott Cullen leans on his decades of fantasy hockey insight and experience every day to help you be the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available on all platforms. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy a busy weekend of hockey. And, of course, let's go Islanders.